Hello everyone, welcome once again to a fresh episode of Big League Soccer, the program that gives you all the biggest, freshest, most exciting analysis of domestic and international football. My name is Sule Koiki, your regular anchor. With me in the studio are a particularly traditional looking Julius Ojabwase. Thank you for joining us, Julius.
It's a pleasure to be back here.
And there's also Babatunde Alao. Thank you for joining us again, gentlemen.
It's my pleasure.
Okay, gentlemen, the biggest issue on the front burner today is the fact that the Super Eagles will begin their march to defend their African title against a team known as the Red Devils of Congo. Not to be confused with the other Congo, that is the Democratic Republic of Congo. We're actually playing Congo, whose capital city is Brazzaville. And we have an interesting history with them. We played with them 9 times. We've won 5 times, we drew 3 times, and we lost once. But interesting, the last time we played against Congo was 14 years ago at the National Stadium in Surulere, in a game that a lot of people want to forget. Let me remind you, that game, the Super Eagles were almost completely beaten by a Congolese side and probably relied on the luck and the bye a few times to escape with a goalless draw in a Group D encounter. I remember the Super Eagles being stoned after that game. But 14 years later, Julius, do you think this Congolese team can reenact that feat?
Well, 14 years is a very long time, and lots will have happened, a lot will have changed. And with the fact that the way football is being played today, you don't want to take anybody for granted. And I would think that the Congo side, the Congolese will not have gone to rest on their horns when, with that performance. They will have developed in terms of football. I would say I don't see such repeating itself that happened then. But having said that, we're not going to take them for granted. I think they will have really, work on their team, and a lot will happen. But I read somewhere that they are going to be missing some of their
three players.
So that's going to be a disadvantage. That's going to be the disadvantage to them and advantage to us. But like I said, I don't really see them, putting up same performance they did 40 years ago.
Let's hold that thought. Just note very quickly that Nigeria is facing an impending FIFA ban. Your captain and your most reliable goalkeeper is also missing. What else?
Yeah.
It's not looking particularly. Then also your coach, Stephen Keshi, is also working as a caretaker coach. In terms of being settled for this match, Nigeria are not exactly looking very sprightly.
Well, all you have said is fact, and that's the reality we are faced with. But I think there is a way that they will put those aside and get the 3 points, because they want to participate in the Nations Cup. If you ask any of the players, if you ask the officials, those that are still having 1 or 2 disgruntled in the house, they will still tell you they want to go to Morocco. So I feel somehow we'll get by. That's part of the challenge.
I'll come back to you, but Babatunde, you have to look at it this way: that Congo are being led by probably the most experienced coach on the African continent, Claude Leroy, a legend as far as African football is concerned. He has coached in Cameroon, Morocco, Ghana, Senegal. In fact, it's easier to choose the place he hasn't coached than to choose where he has actually coached. And when a coach like that is at the helm of a very dangerous team, a team that is quietly rebuilding its national team. Remember, some of its clubs are becoming major forces in club continental competitions in the African continent. Do Nigerians have the right to be scared?
I don't think we have a right to be scared. Fine, our house are not in order presently. We're having a crisis with the NFF. The coach is just coming back to the team after the World Cup. I mean, he has not even...
It's actually Nigeria's first official match after the World Cup.
After the World Cup, so they have not been together. A lot of rancor even between the coaches and some players. And now we have Leroy coming back. He's very familiar with playing against Nigeria.
He actually even applied for the Nigerian job a few times.
But now it has to do with the tools he has to do the job. And that's talking about the players at his disposal with the Congolese team. Now Nigeria, we are the defending champion, and we still have the bulk of our players. We were at the World Cup recently. Congo was not there. So I think the pedigree of our team, coming into this game speaks volume for us. So it will be an upset for Congolese to escape.
The last time
Nigeria
faced Cote d'Ivoire, if you remember, was at the 2000 Nations Cup, where a 10-man Ghanaian national team managed to defeat the Super Eagles.
Oh, fine, they manage, it happens, but it doesn't happen often. And that's why I said the bulk of our players now, we have they are intact. She understands. So now I will be playing at home, and despite all the problems we are having, the players themselves are self-motivated. We are the African champions. We can't afford to lose our first match at home, right on our backyard with any side.
Those problems that you mentioned, we'll talk about them in depth now. But let me come to you, Julius. It has been raining consistently in Calabar. And you know, when it rains, rain is an equalizer for both teams. Any advantage you had before is usually lost because both teams are forced to play under the same conditions. As a former professional footballer, how badly will this affect the game if a downpour begins right in the middle of a very crucial match? Will this give the Eagles some kind of advantage, or will it be an advantage for the Congolese?
I think when it comes to playing under the rain, it's not, you don't readily say it's an advantage to any side. Because you have a sliding pitch and the ball will travel faster if you kick it, and I
not even travel at all.
I think it's going to be an issue. But you see, the good thing is, again, I read in the papers that the first session the Super Eagles had, it was pouring, and the coach was saying like the attitude, everybody getting down wet and they train, and that for me will be an advantage. So if they've trained under the rain, you know, that could, you know, give them to quickly adapt to how to play in the rain. But like I said, you don't really master how to play in the rain because the balls will be sometimes
So you're saying you should have trained for water polo instead of football?
Maybe if that will help, they could have done. But I feel we still have the edge, as it were, because we are playing in our stadium, we have all the
fans
behind us.
Yes, you're always the first people who say that home advantage doesn't count for anything.
Well, in this case, I'm going to take that.
You have to look at your own
Yes, I'm going to take that because I mean there is a plague going around the West Africa here, and I heard that the Congolese even scared to come to Nigeria.
Oh, they're chartering a chartered flight straight from Congo to Calabar, so they don't want to go through any of the other airports. They're going to Calabar.
Go straight. So they were even scared to come here and all that and all that. Psychologically, that will affect them. That will affect them because already they have the fear of coming. So they just want to come here and go back.
They don't want to touch any of our players.
They might not. And to be honest, I don't want to talk to them.
It might not be that bad.
But you know, that's the aside. But I feel if it pours heavily on Saturday, it's going to affect both sides. But I still feel we'll have the edge.
Gentlemen, let's come to a particularly thorny issue. And I'm sure it's one that has been greatly debated in the media. And unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about it now because it is what it is. But the fact that for the 18th time, the Super Eagles list has the name of Ikechukwu Uche missing once again. Obviously, he was Nigeria's most prolific striker in the European season last season, but he did not get the call up to the Super Eagles for the World Cup. And once again, despite claims of apologies being given and accepted on behalf of Stephen Keshi and Ikechukwu Uche, Keshi is calling up Anuche. He's not calling up Anuche, but he's calling up some other unknown players, for the likes of Osagono Ighodaro, top scorer in the Nigerian Premier League. And you wonder why, is it that Keshi is cutting his nose to spite his face, or maybe truly Ikechukwu Uche doesn't have any place in this team anymore?
For me, I think the issue between Keshi and Uche has not been well managed since the inception of the problem between the two. Fine, the coach, I mean, was given a free hand to pick his team and all that, but now we are talking about a player who is in form, whose record playing for Nigeria is one of the best, and who even the antecedent of what he has done in the past is there. He has hardly had any problem with other coaches he has played under in the Super Eagles, and now a new coach comes in and they're having problem. I think if the FA has been on top of the situation, they could have handled that issue together. Now he was not at the World Cup, he was not at the Nations Cup, Now, I mean,
No,
Keshi's...
it was at the Nations Cup. It was the Nations Cup, yeah.
Okay, sorry, it was the Nations Cup against South Africa. Now Keshi also is now coming back afresh into the team. That's a coach without a contract now. So, and now the ugly head of that crisis is rearing up again. For me, I think Keshi should have just shied away from talking about the issue. But I don't know where the story generated from that. Keshi said Ike Uche wants Nigeria to apologize to him before coming back, and the player has denied such. So the issue now is who is lying?
Oh, it might be a creation of the media.
So
you are part of. Is it possible?
For me, that's even if the pressman pose a question to Kweshi as regard the player, you can say I'm not talking on that at all. So because not even it's another crisis of its own, and for players who are currently playing the team, who tells you that Keshi might not have problem with them too? And if it is not well handled, then it will be becoming a recurrent issue in the national team, and it will disturb the mind of players playing for the country.
Julius, you have something to say about it?
Yes, I just want to add this. One thing is this. I watched Keshi's interview after they won the Nations Cup. And Keshi talked a lot about players. Actually, as a matter of fact, he brought each player one by one. Talked about their character and all that. And Keshi said something that I want to quote. He said, there are some players that doesn't have team spirit, that they could poison the team. That if you don't have that spirit, you might not, be part of the team. And what you will realize is that, you see, one bad egg could mess up the whole lot if you don't, curb it. I am not talking for Keshi or for Ike Uche, but I feel whatever the case might be, but if you watch his performance in the Nations Cup, it was not really good, it was on form. And I was even shocked to make the team because he came from an injury or so, and I was telling myself, why do you go to this Nations Cup? Because his performance was low expectation. So if you judge him by that, he might not get a call. But we won't do that. But subsequently, he has showed, what he has.
14 goals in the La Liga.
In La Liga, that's fantastic. And you see, that issue again is that what is the behavior of Ike Uche to the coach? No matter what happened, Keshi before he left Nigeria, he was one of the stubborn type when it comes to when he was playing. So Keshi is somebody that will say, this is what I want to do, whatever it is, I want to do it. And if you have somebody like that in charge, just like you have
that's when might it be as a result of maybe Keshi not just convinced by his style?
No.
I mean, for example, there used to be a Mario Jardel, top scorer in the Portuguese league for Porto. He scored bucketfuls of goals, but he was never called up to the Brazilian national team because the coach then felt his style didn't exactly suit the team was building. Could that be the issue here? Maybe Uche's style does not suit.
I don't think that is the issue. I am thinking the issue has to do with attitude. It has to do with attitude. Now, if you recall, the last World Cup that we watched, France left a player out in the name of Nasri, that won the EPL with Manchester, was on form, scored quite a couple of goals, but they asked the coach, why didn't you? He said, the attitude. So I don't know what attitude that Ike Uche is putting up with his coach. And I said, before we got to stage, it's something that if the coach has the right, you can call up this coach and say, coach, I'm sorry, whatever it is, I want to play for the country. The coach will accept it.
Okay, finally, gentlemen, no Vincent Enyama. Will this affect the Super Eagles in any way?
I don't think so. Austin Ejide is well capable. He has proven himself over time in the national team. He was, in fact, the first choice at Ghana 2006. So I think he's just waiting on the wings for Hiyama to pack his bag. But now that the cabinet is not packing his bag, I think he has a very good replacement.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you so much. We'll take a very quick break and we'll return and talk about the civil war in the Nigerian Football Association. Join us again. Welcome back. It's still Big League Soccer, and I'm still here with a very interesting panel with Julius Ojabasi. I'm about to know, and we're here to talk about the ongoing civil war in the Nigerian Football Association. Big trouble we have an impending FIFA ban. On one side, there is a Chris Giwa-led faction who insists that they are legitimately elected and will not move an inch. And if anyone has any issue regarding that, they should go to the Court of Arbitration for Sports. We also have the Aminu Megari-led faction. Aminu Megari has been returned courtesy of the letter by FIFA to the Nigerian Football Association, whereby he will supervise the elections for the new board. But there is still this small issue of who is the legitimate NFA board, and will we face a ban? Will we be on the receiving end of a ban? Gentlemen, I'm sure you've been reading and watching everything that's been going on, the posturing, the talks, the pronouncements. The Chris Giwa board has also been very busy. They've also suspended the league management company for failing to hold league matches. They've drawn. I mean, it's interesting everything that's been going on. But let me just let me start with you, Sulaiman. What do you think?
It's just a messy affair. I mean, that is not doing the image of Nigeria any good as far as football is concerned. And like you have said, there are two factions, and I think, of course, in Nigeria, we all know that government pays, run the football here, and who pays the piper dictates the two. So now FIFA have said that Giwa should vacate the office of as the NFF chairman.
And the man is insisting he's not
going still there, which means he has the government backing. But the government has not been going about it the right way, because now you are deliberately trying to step on FIFA's law and rules and tools, if I make as it were. Now, concerning Maigari, there's this issue that he has resigned or he has not resigned. It's because of the shenanigans going on.
If he did resign, but FIFA has stated categorically that should return, even if it's for the period of ushering in the new board.
So, for me, it is just, I think our government is just not handling it very well. Let's start from there.
I have to come to you, Julius, and you wonder when people fight so hard and so intensely for a position that is not for a sporting position in Nigeria, you are wondering, could this truly be for the interest of the game, or could it be for other less salutary reasons?
To be honest and to say the truth, I think it's because it is lucrative to be the NFF.
How could it possibly be lucrative?
Because when I say that, there is so much money coming in to the NFF from the government.
Yeah.
And if you have such, if you look at our system in Nigeria, particularly when I talk about even leading the country, because when I say lucrative, when you get there, you become the boss of all. You control a lot of resources.
Yeah.
And that is why...
In fact, you're one of the most high-profile Nigerians. Anywhere you go, they say you're the NFF president.
Absolutely. And you become a small god. You run finances. So because
which you don't necessarily
have to account for, and these are the reasons why they will do what they have to do in any way to be there. Like you may have said, why should the government fund an NFF or whatever? Why can't an NFF sit down and design how to make the money it's going to spend by itself?
Well, they've been saying this from time memorial.
Absolutely, because the government will have interest in it. Those are considered in courts that put money there still have interest in it.
What interest could government possibly have in it?
Oh my God!
Government has been making the NFF.
They don't make money from it.
No, the government has made the position of NFF chairman a political appointment.
Absolutely.
That's what we've been having all along.
And they do returns. You see, when you don't know why people do what they do, it's strange, because you and I will look at it. Come on, this is sports. Let's go have fun, entertainment. But you see, these men don't have other business but that, which is to be in that house.
No. So let me just come to that. You talk about these men, that is the possible candidates for the NFA presidents, and the one who is currently claiming to be the president, that is Chris Giwa. A lot of people don't know him. He was a former governorship aspirant in Plateau State. He's a wealthy businessman. He also owns and runs and funds a football club in the Globe Premier League, that is Giwa FC. So to all intents and purposes, he's a successful businessman. He has also invested in football. So what is wrong with the Chris Giwa being NFL president?
What FIFA is frowning at is that he has not. I mean, what the system that brought Giwa into the football house as chairman is a faulty process, and there's no way FIFA is going to accept that because they didn't follow the process. The election that brought him in, if you remember, they were supposed to hold a congress, and they said they are going to determine, I mean, the date of the election.
Yes.
So there were two factions that the Giwa faction decided to hold the election that day, and the Maigari faction, of course, they left the scenario. So we have been having two factions with Giwa having the support of the government through the ministry. And you know the ministerial appointment has always been a political appointment. Yeah. So that is what is rubbing off in all the crises we are having, because you remember even during the election, Maigari and Chris Bean and the other people, they were picked up by security personnel, and people frowned at it. If you are holding election and some people are whisked away by security personnel, it shows there's something wrong. So it's just a messy affair, but like I said, it is left for the governments with their own might and power to be able to do it the right way and still get their candidate in, because the way it is, it's just like they don't want Maigari on that seat.
He's just saying their candidate in. He's saying government has a candidate, government has interest in who becomes NFA president.
Because he said it's a political appointment right now. So they have their president, they want to be there. That's what it means. But you see, I want to quickly recall, you said something about this man is successful.
Yes.
He has businesses and all that and all that. So what's stopping him from saying, okay, you know what, I'm successful. I don't have the time for this. Let me go back to my business.
Maybe I'm not playing with them. Maybe it's driven by passion. He feels that he can do a better job than
well, you see, you can put your passion. You don't have to be in the NFL to really show your passion to develop football in Nigeria.
If you can't beat them, join them. I'm sure to join them.
But can I tell you this? There is no rich man that will tell you, see, I'm rich enough, I don't want more money. That's you won't know. So there is no point to say this is the height of being rich, and I won't want more. So the thing is that, like I've said, that seat is lucrative. Whoever occupied that seat, hurt himself. Let me use that word. Now we have said the one that is there, what was the accusation? The man that was there, Maigari himself, what was the accusation?
Financial impropriety.
Absolutely.
Which has not been proven.
Well,
it's just allegation.
Well, that's an allegation, but you see, that's where it's always tied to. When you get all our officials that are leading us, it's always financial misappropriation and all that, and you see all kind of injunction, court case, trying to get them to pay for it. So that's what I think is the issue. It is too lucrative.
Gentlemen, finally, we have received a stay of execution from FIFA. We'll be allowed to play against Congo on Saturday.
Yeah.
But on Monday, once the Giwa-led faction have not left office and continue to parade themselves as the legitimate NFA board, FIFA has said very clearly that the Nigeria Football Association will be banned. Everything that has to do with Nigeria football on the international scene will be shut down. Your clubs will not be allowed to play on the continent, that is if you have any clubs. Your national teams will not be allowed to compete. And CAF has come out to say that if that ban does come, that Nigeria will forfeit the game against South Africa and will subsequently be thrown out of the qualifying series for the 2015 Africa Cup of Nations. Let me ask you, just looking into your crystal ball and everything, what will happen on Monday?
For me, I think Giwa is just showing a brave face. Of course, they are really under intense pressure because they know even the minister of course is backing Giwa.
I don't know what you mean by brave face. I mean, if you can zoom in here, you can see a very confident looking Chris Giwa saying, I remain NFF boss. Giwa defiance. I don't know what you mean by.
He said he remained the NFF boss.
The man is looking very confident.
He said the league should continue. The league has not continued. Okay, and now I want to paint a picture of what is going to happen in Calabar tomorrow. So how do you think the CAF officials who are coming from the match and whoever from the football circle, how do you think Giwa is going to relate with them, with all those people knowing that a man FIFA said should not be on that seat.
Because there's a problem. If the man shows up in Calabar and says he wants to visit,
what I'm saying is he's not going to be accorded the respect he should have deserved. as a true NFF chairman. So they are sitting on if I call it gunpowder. But now it's not going to explode on Saturday.
So what do you think will happen on Monday?
Of course, by Monday it's time for him to go. He doesn't have any option.
You are sure that
because if Nigeria, if you are banned, the blame will rest squarely on Giwa, on the minister, and the Nigerian government.
Julius?
Well, just straight up front, I think they will iron it out.
They will iron it out. By iron it out, you mean?
It will be settled. Giwa will leave, whoever needs to leave will conduct a proper election.
Okay, so my two analysts here have looked into the future and have reassured the rest of Nigerians that Nigeria will not be banned by FIFA because the Chris Giwa-led board, factional board of the Nigerian Football Association, will vacate office on Monday. This has been Big League Soccer. My name is still Tunde Koiki. Don't forget you can send us all your comments about everything we've discussed, the Super Eagles match against Congo, the ongoing NFA crisis. Just join the conversation, send your comments, and don't forget to subscribe. My name is Tunde Koiki. Join us again for a fresh edition.
Okay, but you know, there's nothing wrong in the game to become coach.
Baba, you know there are some fans that when you say husband and wife fight, both of them are saying
let's not Africanize this thing.
What's the problem? What do you think is the problem?
I don't like your face, I don't like your face.
No.
Baba,
this is what you do, you are not playing for me. Let everybody know.
Baba,
not that you have in shenanigans here. Conditions go around and so whatever play around.
Yeah,
and the guy denied that he won't say, but cases already be paid once of pay company.
You should apologize no matter what.
One journalist to do
I think coach actually have any problem. I don't have to say it in public. I can call my coach. Footballer,
yes,
footballer the last.
Footballer
the last manager. Don't man back coach and the last. The next if you just arrange, I call a visit coach. Coach go my yard and coach. I be your boy Lopez. Whatever happens.
Europe,
coach
very. That's the convention. So,
then no matter see what they were play ball there. Yeah, no. Nobody did to look in it over 10 years. It's true now. They are men, police or police. Coach, okay, no, I be small picking. I was a child.
Which means go.
I did that.
Or say kan ko tun ko.
Wọ́n ṣàlàyé.
Yo, must say buko to fún Nigeria open it.
That's all. Not
check it you.
Jeje yẹn bi buko
Nigeria. Joe Bukeshi. The answer is no.
No, Bukeshi na.
Bukeshi.
Kò Bukeshi.
Yes.
Èèyàn tó bú NFF.
Siasa ló bú. Siasa ni o ta.
Èèyàn tó bú NFF tó bú journalist. Ta ló tó bú.
Ibẹ̀
No, wasn't part of it.
Who employed? No. Ẹ má jẹ́ àmì kẹsàn-án.
It wasn't part of it.
Mo ń try láti go past head-to-head wa pẹ̀lú wọn. So, ẹ̀yin ti jẹ́ ọ̀sẹ̀. Okay. So, head-to-head pẹ̀lú wọn. So, mo fẹ́ wo number of draws. They have only beaten us once.
Sure, no, I didn't.
No, I didn't.
No.
I did Congo 2-1.
I don't go back from that.
So, I mean, just to make a...
They even eliminated us. That was the one that they won, I think.
We are beating them.
I don't know about African countries.
3, 4,
Shall we
5.
keep the former game?
We've beaten them 5 times.
Nigeria, Congo, that played national team of mine.
No, 0-0 no play.
More in Sholili.
Fake clip.
I don't play.
2000.
Oh
boy, I thought they compete on it.
Wọ́n yí Nigeria lọ́rùn kan báyìí náà, wọ́n yí ohun Nigeria báyìí náà. Wọ́n score now players after game here now.
No.
Oko. Àwọn chair Congo. Tẹ̀sán Nigeria about 60,000 capacity stadium. Wọ́n turn against.
They don't know how Nigeria.
Díẹ̀ ló kù. 0-0 ní ọlá ọlọ́run of Nigeria. Wọ́n ti ná Nigeria kan náà. Shall we?